Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new crime comedy BFFs. And this is from director Konstantin Paraskevopoulos and writer Adam Rifkin, who both star in the film, with Paraskevopoulos, who plays the weird best friend, or the one who desires to be a best friend, to Rifkin's character. And this film focuses on Jerry trying to reconnect with childhood friend Henry. As their practical jokes escalate, it threatens Henry's current life with potential fatal consequences. And this film starts off with this framing device that Jerry's been in jail and Henry's dead. And you're just like, okay, this starts in a dark place. And then we're brought all the way back 8 years to see how this all unfolded. And how it unfolds is not particularly funny and also absolutely ridiculous. The structure of this film, which, if you take out the credits, this is like an hour and 12 minutes. This film feels like nothing but setup for one singular payoff gag. And you can't make a whole film that's just one gag and hoping that everything up to that point is fully committed to just to get that gag. That long con isn't really working. And especially when you have some twists and turns along the way where there might be some other long cons going on at the same time that feel equally absurd, equally illogical, and make absolutely no sense. And that's one of the challenging things about this particular film, is so much of it is completely illogical and makes no sense. And you're going on this journey, trying to, feel for Henry, and this whole pranking thing feels so mean-spirited. So many of the jokes, the lines, and just the humor of it all feels so lowbrow, lowest common denominator, that there's very few moments where you get a good laugh out of me. Now, I appreciate some silly play on words, and there is a wonderful gag in this film focused on that, and sure, I laughed at those. I'm not going to say everybody will, though, which isn't great, but so much of this humor just feels so flat and so uninteresting, because so many of the characters in this film are so flat and uninteresting. We struggle even with Henry, who's in this place, and Jerry wants to break him out of this shell and this safe space that he's just been locking himself in for years. And sure, it potentially has some interesting themes, but it's just basically wasted on all this other shenanigans that are going on. I will admit that I really do believe Paraskevopoulos and especially Rifkin are completely committed to this bit, and their performances become so wildly over the top and ridiculous that they're campy and fun as it comes out the other end. And, Rifkin in particular escalates so wildly throughout the film, and once the third act rolls around, he is unhinged and he's going for it. And you have some familiar faces, like Terrence Howard has a legitimately authentic performance in this film as Henry's boss. But there's so many other wasted performers like Nick Stoll and Taye Diggs. Just none of them really feel like fully fleshed out characters. They feel like specific devices here for the film. This film is so clunky. From a directing standpoint, the production design is just so clunky and awkward looking and so flimsy looking that this film feels like it was made for $5. It might have been. And just the camera work is so... You see this so overly saturated, lit film that feels like it's some kind of sitcom. It just falls flat. And just from all those technical standpoints, this film feels really lacking. But there's not much to really latch on to and enjoy about this film in general. So honestly, this is a pretty big miss. But those are my thoughts on BFFs. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.